Hey guys, so in this video we're going to fix ability damage because we need to convert all of the damage types we currently have on the player to just one single damage type of the ability. Because at the moment if we have some buffs on the player that gives us poison damage or cold damage or anything else, and then we cast fireball, it will still cause all of those damage types separately. And we only want to cause one instance of the damage, and the damage should be the damage type of the spell. So first thing we need to do is we need to tell the ability what damage type it needs to convert to. So for that, let's just go to structs and deities, and here open ability struct, and we're going to add new variable, and this one we can call ability damage type, and this needs to be stats enumerator. So stats, save it, and then we can go to abilities data table, and here on the fireball we're just going to change it to fire damage. And then for the rest of the spells we have created already, or abilities, I'm going to change it only on rain of arrows to physical damage, because rain of arrows shouldn't really cause like poison or anything like that unless you set it, unless you want to have some bleed effect or something which you can set later. For rest of the abilities, evade, I'm going to leave it as it is because it just shoots one of the equipped arrows, so it can cause whatever is on that arrow. If you have a fire arrow, it will be fire damage, so that's fine. Rapid fire is the same thing because it just fires 3 different arrows, so we will leave it at default. Infuse fire doesn't have damage. For charge, not everyone has this ability, that's from my Patreon, but I'm going to leave it for the same reason, because if I infuse my weapons with fire and I charge someone, I also want to cause fire, so I don't want to convert it just to physical damage. And same thing for whirlwind. So this will mostly be for spells, or like some abilities like area of effect one. So stone form also doesn't have anything, so this is all. I'm going to save it, and then what we need to do is we need to go to combat component and not take damage but apply damage, and here we need to change it slightly because at the moment I have absolute mess of things here because I just didn't get the variable, I didn't clean it up. But what we're doing here is we're checking if it's not breakable, and then if it's not breakable we're checking checking this array that we have with all of the damage types, and then looking for that damage type in the player stats, and if it's greater than 0 then we take damage basically, which tells enemy to take that type of damage. We don't want to do that because we need to convert it, and we only want to cause one instance of the damage, as I mentioned. So what we're going to do is on this apply damage we're going to create new variable, and this one will be stats enumerator, same thing, and this one will be convert, I wrote convert, so convert damage type, because we're going to be converting it to something else. And then we're going to check if this equals, so equals enumerator and default, and we're going to add one more branch here after this one, before this for loop. And if this is equal default, so we haven't set anything different to this convert damage type, we will just continue as we were before. But if it's false, if we have changed it to something else, we need to do one more for loop. So let's just copy this one. And the for loop will pretty much be the same, but I can't reuse this one because we'll calculate the damage together and stuff. So let's just create a new one. Let's get this also defined. So we'll be looking for this stat. From current stats, we can get it as variable, so get current stats. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one, it just looks different. So current stats, and we're looking for the max stat, and this time we're not going to cause damage straight away, we're going to just add new local variable, which will be type float, and we can call it local total damage. Local total damage. And we're going to get it and add to it this max stat, because that's where the damage types are stored, and then we're going to set it from this value. So we don't need to check if it's less than 0, because if it's 0, it will still just add to it. It's only looping these damage types that we have on the player. If you create new damage type, you need to add it here also in this damage type array, otherwise it won't calculate. So now we do have a total damage that we have on the player, and on completed we will take damage this time, and for damage type, not for damage type, sorry, for damage, we're going to get this local total damage. Damage type will be this one, the convert damage type. So just get it as variable, get convert damage type. For target, I'm going to check because I'm not sure. That's the enemy that we are actually hitting. Be very careful with this because we need to basically pass it on to the enemy that we have just hit to take damage. So that needs to be connected from the hit result. Then hit location, what we have, impact point connected on the top one, so we can just do same one. Damage causer, again I'm going to check that is the damage causer from the function input, so get damage causer and connect it. Hit info is get hit result and connect it. Current stats, so get stats, get current stats and connect it. And effects, I'm just thinking, yes, we are changing it before we apply damage for fireball, so effects will be correct as well. So let's get effects as a variable and connect it. Right, so this will apply just one damage, and also we need to tell the enemy that we have finished, so we need to reset the hit events so it knows it's going to be next attack after this. So we're going to connect this part right after, and that needs to go from this combat component, yes, from this combat component, and that's also the target here for this interface function. This is just telling enemy that we have finished with this single attack. Right, rest of it I will leave. So compile and save. And now what we need to do is actually set this somewhere because it's empty. So let's go to Fireball Blueprint that we created last time. And here in the end, we already have the ability info, so we can just connect it directly. And that's it. Now it will convert all of the damage. We also changed it on Rain of Arrows. So every ability is a little bit different. That's basically how it works if you want to have a good game with different abilities. So for this is actually the event I'm looking for, but if you can't find it, so for Rain of Arrows, we applying damage when we hit with the particle. So we got this event, receive particle data. If you double click on it, you will find this, and in the end, we do have apply damage. You can see also damage multiplier we have set manually here, so anything we change in the data table won't update. So that's not really ideal. What we can do is we do have learned abilities, so we can get it. We're going to find, and I'm going to set it here manually, so Rain of Arrows, and then can't select it, and then break it open, and here we're going to connect damage multiplier, effects as well, just in case you want to add some effects later, so it will update from the data table, and convert damage type, which will be physical in this case. Unless I think I changed it for physical. Yeah, physical damage. So save all. And now to test it, I'm going to go to stats component on the player. Go to stats. Do I have some damage types here? I do have poison damage, which is 0 at the moment. So I'll add 20 to poison damage. And I'll add also lightning damage or something. Lightning damage, and maybe 10 into max stats. So now my player has two different damage types as soon as he starts the game. But what should happen is I should convert all that damage to fire when I cast fireball, or physical when I cast rain of arrows. So let's test it out. Equip the staff. There was a lot of burning, but I think it worked. Let me just move one of these guys away. I'll just spread them so I don't hit all of them. And try one more time. There we go, 48, and then he starts burning. So 48 is the total damage I have on the player, which doesn't seem to be okay because we also have a damage multiplier. And that's what I forgot to do. So in a combat component, yeah, this is just the total damage we have on the player. So we need to multiply this local total damage by damage multiplier from the input. So get damage multiplier. And that will be damage. Alright, so now let me try with the bow this time. So I do have bow equipped. I'll pick up some arrows because I need at least one, and I'm going to cast rain of arrows. And there we go, it's only physical damage that I'm causing, so it's all put together and caused us one type of damage. And this was probably critical. Okay, so there is one small issue that I can see, that damage indicator is not working when you kill the enemy. It doesn't show us that last damage. And that is very small thing. In the combat component we can just go to take damage. And so we modifying current stat, and inside that function we check if it's less than 0 or if it's equal 0, and we call enemy death or player death. And when the player is dead, we can actually use this damage indicator. So what we need to do is we just need to move this, Control and X, connect this here, and then move it in the end. So we will first show damage indicator and then we will modify current stat. Alright, if the player is not dead or enemy. So now that should be another issue fixed. Let me try with the fireball again. There we go. It was 120 damage, I think. I didn't see it over the small one. There we go, 291. And you can see he was burning, but it's not ticking anymore because he is dead. So we can't apply damage with damage indicator. So this is all working fine. Now, one more thing I want to change is, I mentioned it before, I want to have a rotation on fireball, because if I rotate like this, you can see it fires behind me. It doesn't look very good. So I want the player to rotate while he's casting. And we already set the function for that when we're doing magic attacks. All we have to do is go to ability component. This is in abilities. And here we have, this is a fireball, right? Yeah, so fireball. And here directly on the execution, we want to get owner and add gameplay tag or set gameplay tag. Yeah, it's set gameplay tag. And we're going to tell character to checks and control rotation. So it will be rotating. And then when it's completed, we want to also do one more remove gameplay tag from here. And this one will be control rotation, so we'll turn it on and turn it off. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't like the fact that it's on completed starting the cooldown. I want to do it when he casts the spell. So here. So as soon as he casts the spell, we will start the cooldown and we will remove the mana. And then one more thing, someone recommended me, actually I didn't know this node exists, but it's get player camera manager. And from there we don't actually need to cast to follow camera, because it just gets the camera that is being controlled by the player. So we can hold control and drag all of these here. And what you don't like, get world location, so we can just get camera location instead of this. Wait, which one was converted to component? Pretty much all of them. You don't have to do this, you can just from the camera we can get camera rotation. Now will be rotation, and then what we have here, and get location. So camera location, that goes to here. Delete this too, and this one is forward vector. Not sure if you can get that. So forward, get actor forward vector. Yeah, seems to be working fine. So we just replaced it. We don't have to cast here anymore. And this one was on notify begin. Alright, so now we added rotation and fix this thing. We can again just quickly test it out. So now when I'm casting fireball, I can move and rotate, and then it casts actually when I'm looking, not backwards. Alright, so that's working fine. It turns off the rotation as well. And that's pretty much it. Did I want something else? Ah yeah, I noticed that we hit ourselves with a fireball. So you can see I kill myself pretty much, and now I'm burning. So that's not correct, and that is just because in the fireball blueprint we do have these actors to ignore, but I didn't add player to it, or the owner. So get actors to ignore and add this owner, which is the whoever cast it, and then it will ignore by this sphere trace channel. And that's it. So we fixed most of the things, we converted the damage, so that's working fine, and then we can move on to some other spells. I wanted to also do different burn effect for fireball, but you can just create it yourself. It's literally just going to which component is it? It's in condition component, and there you set up how much you want to take damage as well, and then you set it up in the actual conditions. So it's good if you practice and you know how to do different buffs and debuffs, so try to do it yourself. And that's it. So I hope you like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.